Have you watched the first season of the live action One Piece? Because I just finished, and I know that I'm a little bit behind everyone who jumped on it as soon as it was released, but there's still a ton of people that I have spoken to who want to watch it and haven't seen it yet, so warning, I'm about to talk about it. But I think there were a lot of things about it that I wasn't expecting, and full disclaimer, I have not read the manga and I have not watched the anime, so I'm really just judging this on its own merits, independent of how faithful of an adaptation it was, because I really don't know. But I think one of the things that I was so impressed by was how it just fully leaned into even the visual tropes of manga and of anime. They used both. They pulled out things about the manga specifically and the anime specifically and just leaned into them and even poked fun at them at some points, embracing the fact that this was an adaptation. And they did it in such a way that just worked, like, because it's supposed to be quirky and zany and funny, and it was. And I really appreciated how they did that, and it really helped to bring the world together. I was surprised by how much I came to like characters that annoyed me a lot at the beginning, and how things that seemed like immaturity weren't necessarily immaturity, and some things that seemed like maturity in some characters was really immaturity, and I really liked how they pulled that out in different characters. It was very well done. The thing that really did impress me the most, though, I have to say, was how in this fun, zany, trope-heavy telling of a particular classic story that, again, I'm not familiar with, they tackled surprisingly well some really deep questions and hurts. And I was very moved by this overarching emphasis on friendship, like just pure friendship type love, family bonds, like the purity of that type of love was really shown and showcased, and what it means to be there for somebody unconditionally, to love them unconditionally as a friend, with no other strings attached, which is something that I think a lot of the stories in our own culture are losing. We're losing that. There often has to be some kind of romantic tie to a relationship, to a friendship, to whatever, to really make us understand why it would be unconditional. It's either a parental child or it's somehow romantic. Not to say that there's no nuancing or stories that don't tell other things don't exist, but they are becoming fewer and fewer. And to see that type of love, like, and that type of bond and that type of belonging brought out in this story was so encouraging to me. And I mean, sure, it has its own flaws. It's definitely not told from like a strictly Christian worldview, but most stories in our culture aren't either. So whether they come from the East or the West, most of them are not. And the fact that there was so much in there that we can pull out as seeds of truth, and deep ones too, was really encouraging to me. And I had fun along with the ride. So I'm curious to see what season 2 will bring. And I really have no idea because I don't know the story at all. But really praying for the actors, for the writers, for the costume designers, everybody involved in this, and also for the viewers, that, the Holy Spirit can really use these types of stories to remind us of truths that he's planted within ourselves and what we're all called for and made for, so that we can identify it more readily when it comes, when he speaks, when he moves in us, when he calls us to conversion, when he calls us onward to our vocation, whatever it is. Really praying for that. And I did write an article that hopefully will be going up on our Media Mindfulness blog pretty soon about one particular scene from season 1 of the live action One Piece that just broke open a really beautiful, deep element of who Christ is in our life and what it can mean for our own prayer life and our daily life as Christians. In case that's something that you're kind of curious about, how the Holy Spirit can use these kinds of stories to remind us of those things, but aren't really sure to start, and you've seen it because it does have spoilers, warning, then feel free to check that out. I can put a link to it when it comes out in the caption below. Keep praying for the people who are producing media. Keep praying for the people who are receiving it. Include yourself in that prayer, that whatever we do, whether it's intaking stories or outputting stories, that it may always be for the glory of God and for the peace of men. God bless you.